enter कर I record above.
So is it, we are on now?
Record. Yes, sir. You can start.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I, Amit Mehta, along with my colleagues on the board, extend a very warm welcome to all of you at 45th Annual General Meeting of your company. In view of continuing COVID-19 pandemic during the calendar year 2021, Ministry of Corporate Affairs has permitted the holding of the annual general meeting through a video conference or other audio-visual means without the physical presence of the members at a common venue. In compliance with the provision of the Companies Act 2013, SEBI Regulation 2015 and MCS Circular the AGM of the company is holding through VC as well as OAVM. There are more than 30 members present, including representatives of various corporate companies. Since the required quorum is present, I call this meeting to be in order. Before we commence the proceeding, let me introduce to you the people on the panel of the board attending the AGM through VC or OAVMs. G.S. Venkatachalam, Executive Director, Rajendra Chabra, Professional Director, Dr. Ambrish Dalal, Independent Director, Mr. Dhruv Mehta, Independent Director, Mrs. Kejal Pandya, Independent Director. Chairman of Audit Committee, Mr. Dhruv Mehta, and Stakeholder Relationship Committee, Mr. Rajendra Chabra, are present at this annual general meeting. Chairman of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, Dr. Ambrish Dalal, is also present at this annual general meeting. I acknowledge the presence of Mr. Vishal Doshi, Mr. Shripal Shah, and Mr. Rohit Parekh from KC Mehta and Company, Chartered Accountant, Statutory Auditors, and the company auditors of the company, and the presence of Mr. Sandeep Sheikh, Mr. Prashant Prajapati from Sandeep Shah, Seth and Associates, Secretarial Auditors of the company. Mr. Dipen Ruparedia, Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Hemakshi Pawar, Company Secretary, are also present at this meeting. Pursuant to the provision of the Act, members are entitled to attend and vote at the AGM, is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote on his or her behalf, and the proxy need not be a member of the company. Since this AGM is being held pursuant to MCA circular through VC OAVMs, physical attendance of the member has been dispensed with. Accordingly, the facility of appointment of proxies by members is not available for AGM. The required statutory register copies of the Article of Association of the company and Memorandum of Association of the company and all other required documents are available for inspection to the members of the company through electronic mode. The notice of the meeting and also the annual report and accounts have been sent to all the shareholders whose email IDs are registered with the company's register and share transfer agent. In case of physical holding and with depository participant in case of demat holding. It is also available on website of the company www.dscl.co.in and website of a stock exchange www.bsc India Limited. I would now request the company secretary to read out the notice of the meeting.
Notice is hereby given that the 45th Annual General Meeting of the members of Messrs. Diamonds and Chemicals Limited will be held through video conferencing or other audio-visual means on Tuesday, the 20th day of July 2021 at 12 noon to transact the following businesses. Yes, sir.
Already been sent to everybody, all the shareholder. If we can take it as read, it would be great. Can you take it as read?
Yes, we can take it as read.
Thank you.
Our auditors, Mrs. KC Mehta and Company, have given us an unqualified report, and I would now request the company secretary to read out the same.
Independent Auditors Report to the members of Diamonds and Chemicals Limited. Report on the audit of standalone financial statement.
Yes.
Opinion.
Yes, sir. Request to take the independent auditor report as a head. Yeah, we should take it as a continue forward.
Yes, continue as read.
On request of the shareholder, we take the independent auditor's report as read.
Okay. I wish to say now a few words about the working of the company. Since March 2020, the WHO declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. The company has adopted measures to curb the spread of infection in order to protect the health of its employees and ensure business continuity with the minimal disruption, including remote working, maintaining social distancing, sanitization of workplaces, etc. The year 2020-21 helped us to manage our sales, improve reliability and efficiency, and offered a positive picture in terms of growth. Company has incorporated a wholly owned subsidiary, DSCL FineChem Limited, during the financial year 2020-21. Your company achieved a stand-alone operating profit for the year before depreciation, interest and tax, before exception item at 27.70 crores as compared to 37.31 crores in the previous year. The profit after tax for the year is 21.03 crore as compared to 23.98 in the previous year. Consolidated operating profit for the year before depreciation, interest and tax before exception item is 27.66 crore and profit after tax is about 20.99 crore. We are pleased to inform you that the board has proposed a final dividend of 50% for the year ended March 31st, 2021. On future prospects, the year 2021-22 continues to offer a challenging situation ahead, and your company is gearing up to face these challenges. Your company continues to believe in existing business and its derivatives of ethylenamines, and therefore will continue to invest energy and resource in this business as well as in new areas. Company has already invested in last 2 years in R&D to develop new products. We are already setting up a pilot plant, a pilot plant. The new product will be made based on the synergistic asset base that we have. We are already in the process of getting EC clearance and hopeful to start production of these new products once we get EC clearance. Also, on anticipating need of space, we have already bought a land in Dahej, which is in the process of being transferred. We believe that the people work best when there is a foundation of trust. Relationship with employees has been cordial throughout the year. It is their commitment, dedication, and team spirit that enable the company to maintain the production level, meet the customer demand in these testing times. I would like to take opportunity to thank my colleagues on board for the valuable guidance, support, and banks for their continued cooperation and active support to the company. Our esteemed clients for their valuable support, our suppliers for their cooperation, and our shareholders for putting their trust and faith upon us. Now coming to the item of business, the first item on today's agenda is adoption of balance sheet, statement of profit and loss, auditors and directors reports, including the audited consolidated financial statement of the company for the year ended March 31st, 2021. I would like to invite queries, if any, on the accounts which the members would like us to answer. We have received few requests from members as a speaker of this meeting, and they have sent some questions. We will name these members one by one and request them to ask their question, and we will answer them. There are others who have also asked if they can speak, but they have not given their any question. We will try to answer to their question as well. And if we need more details to answer, we will respond by email. We request you to keep your question limited and relevant. Now I request Mr. Vikram Chandiramani, who has already sent some question.
Mr. Vikram,
is Mr. Vikram Chandiramani there?
Vikram Chandiramani is there. Now, sir, you can speak. Mr.
Oh, I
Chandiramani,
can-
please.
Mr. Vikram Chandiramani can speak. No, now.
Yes.
I think he's on mute.
Hello.
I think you guys muted me. Now you've unmuted me. Can you hear me and see me clearly?
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah,
Can you see me?
No, we cannot see you.
you need to start your video.
You have to, Vikram, sir, you have to start your video.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. Can you see me now?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes. You are live now, sir.
All right. Good morning, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here. And I've attended a lot of AGMs in my life, but COVID has created a situation where it has taken the fun out of AGMs.
So,
And it is, for the first time, even in an online AGM, I cannot see how many shareholders are attending. I seem to be the only one here. I can only see the list of panelists.
Okay.
We have achieved quorum, but we have achieved quorum with how many shareholders? Can somebody tell me?
yeah, I'm sure.
64.
I'm sorry?
64.
64. All right. It's good to be as transparent as possible because in any case, in these times, since we are physically away from each other, and I'm happy that, you indicated that you are waiting for environment clearance for your project. But actually, it would be better to be in the interest of transparency to elaborate on it. I understand that you are going for a capacity expansion of 10-fold. Your current production capacity is around 200 metric tons per month, and you have applied for 2,000 metric tons per month, if I'm not wrong. And the other thing is, I would like to go over, the resolutions which you have put forth, especially the resolutions. Actually, let me switch to Hindi. Yeah, I think a lot of the shareholders, some of the shareholders may not be comfortable with English. तो मैं कहूँगा कि आपकी जो प्रोडक्शन कैपेसिटी है पहले 200 मेट्रिक टन थी, अभी आपको सरकार ने अनुमति दी है 2000 मेट्रिक टन प्रति महीने करने की. इसके बारे में मैं अमित भाई से कहूँगा आप विस्तार से बताइए सबको, तो अच्छा होगा जब आप बात करना शुरू करें. अभी आपके जो रेजोल्यूशन है, जो खासकर जैसे स्टॉक ऑप्शन को लेकर जो रेजोल्यूशन है, जिसके अंतर्गत आपके कर्मचारियों को और आपके कुछ डायरेक्टर्स को आप स्टॉक ऑप्शन देना चाहते हैं, तो उसमें मैं एक मिनट में लोगों को समझाऊं कि स्टॉक ऑप्शन क्या होता है. स्टॉक ऑप्शन जिनको मतलब पता नहीं हो, स्टॉक ऑप्शन में ये होता है कि इस वक्त समझ लीजिए आपकी कंपनी का प्राइस 300 है, तो ऐसे कर्मचारी जो हैं, जो आपके साथ काम करते हैं या डायरेक्टर जो आपके साथ काम करते हैं, आप उनको स्टॉक ऑप्शन देते हैं, हक देते हैं कि वो शेयर 300 रुपए में खरीद सकें, साल के बाद भी, 2 साल के बाद भी, फिर भले उस वक्त प्राइस कुछ भी हो, भले 1000 हो, 2000 हो. मान लीजिए आपके पास कोई एम्प्लॉय काम करते हैं, विजय कुमार को आपने 10,000 स्टॉक के ऑप्शन दे दिए 300 रुपए के, उसको अभी कुछ पैसे नहीं देने हैं. साल के बाद, 2 साल के बाद जब वो ऑप्शन वेस्ट होते हैं, तो विजय कुमार को ये हक है कि वो 300 रुपए में वो शेयर खरीदे, फिर भले 1300 रुपए उसका प्राइस हो, तो उसके बीच का जो फर्क है वो उसका मुनाफा होगा. सही है? तो अभी मेरा सोचना ये है कि क्या ये मुनासिब होगा, क्या ये कंपनी के हित में है, क्या शेयर होल्डर्स के हित में है. इसके लिए मैं एक छोटा सा किस्सा आपको बताता हूँ. वॉरेन बफेट का नाम आप लोगों ने सुना होगा. वॉरेन बफेट बर्कशायर हैथवे चलाते हैं, दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी इन्वेस्टमेंट कंपनी है, और वॉरेन बफेट दुनिया के सबसे सफल निवेशक हैं. वो इतने सफल हैं, दुनिया के सबसे अमीर आदमियों में से एक है. वो इतने सफल है कि 1964 में वो आमतौर पर स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, कंपनीज खरीदते हैं. वो कोका कोला के, एप्पल के, दोनों के सबसे बड़े नॉन प्रोमोटर शेयर होल्डर हैं, यूएसए में बेस्ड हैं. वो इतने बुद्धिमान हैं, इतने सफल हैं कि आपने 1964 में उनको $1 दिया होता इन्वेस्ट करने के लिए, तो आज आपके पास $26,000 होते. तो वो सबसे सफल निवेशक है. अभी मैं आपको बताता हूं कि उनकी जिंदगी की वो कौन सी है जो सबसे बड़ी गलती मानते हैं. वॉरेन बफेट 1993 में उन्होंने डेक्स्टर शूज नाम की कंपनी खरीदी थी. ये कंपनी शूज बनाती थी. उनको लगा कंपनी बहुत अच्छा करेगी, लेकिन हर आदमी हर समय तो सही नहीं हो सकता. चाइनीज कंपटीशन की वजह से वो कंपनी को बहुत नुकसान हुआ। किसी कारणवश फाइनली 2015 में वो कंपनी बंद हो गई और वॉरेन बफेट के उन्होंने $450 मिलियन दिए थे उस कंपनी के लिए, $450 मिलियन। उसकी वैल्यू जीरो हो गई। अभी आप सोचेंगे कि $450 मिलियन का नुकसान हुआ, नहीं, उन्होंने $450 मिलियन के अपने कंपनी के शेयर दिए थे वो कंपनी खरीदने के लिए। तो जब भी वो कंपनी बंद हो गई तो उन शेयर्स की वैल्यू $10 बिलियन थी। तो उनका नुकसान $450 मिलियन नहीं हुआ, उनका नुकसान $10 बिलियन हुआ। इस वजह से मैं मानता हूं कि शेयर्स देना जो है अपनी कंपनी के किसी को भी, दैट इज अ बिग ब्लंडर, नहीं करना चाहिए। लेकिन आपके लिए जो लोग काम करते हैं नेचुरली उनके हित के बारे में भी आप सोचेंगे, तो उनको आप जो भी सैलरी देते हैं, मेरा ये मानना है कि आप सैलरी के तौर पे बढ़ा दीजिए, जो उनको आपको मुनासिब लगता है उनको दीजिए, और वो जाके बाजार में जाके शेयर खरीद लें जैसे हम खरीदते हैं, जैसे आप खरीदते हैं, उसमें तो कोई रोक टोक है नहीं। और इस सिचुएशन में अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है कि पैसे कम हैं तो आप बैंक से लोन लीजिए। आपकी कंपनी डेट फ्री है, डेट फ्री होने का ग्रोइंग कंपनी के लिए कोई कारण नहीं है। आज आपको 7-8% पे जितना लोन चाहिए उतना मिल जाएगा, और 7-8% पे आप लोन लेके उनको दे रहे हैं, तो एक तरह से आप अपने कंपनी के शेयर बचा रहे हैं 8%। कोई मुझे कहेगा कि भाई 10 करोड़ रुपए ले लीजिए, 8% पे आप डायमाइंस केमिकल्स की कंपनी के एक शेयर खरीदिए, मैं तो तुरंत ले लूंगा, क्योंकि आपकी कंपनी का भविष्य बहुत उज्जवल है, आप लोग बहुत सक्षम लोग हैं। लेकिन ये जो है शेयर्स देना, शेयर्स बांटना, क्योंकि आपके रेजोल्यूशन के मुताबिक हर साल 2% तक आप शेयर बांटने वाले हैं अपने कर्मचारियों को, अपने डायरेक्टर्स को, मतलब 5 साल में आप 10% के शेयर बांट देंगे। अगर आज आपकी कंपनी का मार्केट कैप 350 करोड़ है, 5 साल के बाद में हो सकता है 3000 करोड़ हो, आपकी कैपेसिटी 10 गुना बढ़ रही है। तो 10% 3000 करोड़ का 300 करोड़ होता है। आप क्यों ये गंवाना चाहते हैं? आप खुद प्रमोटर हैं, आप अपने हित के बारे में सोचिए अमित भाई, शेयर होल्डर्स के हित के बारे में सोचिए। और दूसरी बात यह है कि नॉट ओनली ये, मैं तो समझता हूं कि आपको इवन बायबैक करना चाहिए, क्योंकि जो भी कंपनीज बायबैक करती हैं, क्योंकि आपके शेयर की वैल्यू अभी बहुत कम है, अब बायबैक कीजिए तो आगे जो भी ईपीएस होगा वो कम शेयर्स में बटेगा और वेल्थ क्रिएट होगी। दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कंपनी जिन्होंने वेल्थ क्रिएट किया है उन्होंने बायबैक किया है। वॉरेन बफेट है, वो हमेशा कहते हैं कि बायबैक कीजिए। आज डिविडेंड पे भी टैक्स लगता है, बायबैक पे भी टैक्स लगता है, तो बायबैक कीजिए ना। डिविडेंड में आप कंजर्वेटिव रहिए, कम दीजिए, नहीं दीजिए, वो आपकी मर्जी, जैसे आपके शेयर होल्डर्स ठीक समझें। लेकिन लॉन्ग रन में यही ठीक रहेगा कि आप वेल्थ क्रिएशन के हिसाब से ये सोचिए। दूसरी एक बात ये आप सोचिए, क्योंकि बाकी तो 55% आपके हाथ में, आप जो चाहें कर सकते हैं, लेकिन ये मेरा सुझाव है। दूसरी बात ये है कि आपकी कंपनी में मैंने देखा कि इस साल तो सभी के लिए मुश्किल साल रहा, तो आपके सेल्स थोड़े कम हुए, प्रॉफिट थोड़ा कम हुआ, लेकिन मैंने देखा कि जो एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट एक्सपेंस है वो 4.25 से करीब 6.25 करोड़ हो गया। उसमें लिखा गया कि इंक्लूड्स कमीशन पेड टू डायरेक्टर्स या कुछ भी। मेरा सजेशन ये है कि आप स्प्लिट दीजिए उसमें, क्योंकि दोनों की जो टैक्स इंप्लीकेशन है वो अलग है, तो दोनों को क्लब करना सही नहीं है कि आप एम्प्लॉय बेनिफिट एक्सपेंस अलग बताइए और कमीशन अलग बताइए। और दूसरी बात यह है कि जितने कंजर्वेटिव रहें रिगार्डिंग एक्सपेंसेस आप, उतना अच्छा है, क्योंकि इफ यू रन अ टाइट शिप तो आपकी वैल्यूएशन उतनी बढ़ेगी। आप ₹1 कंपनी में बचाएंगे, आपकी वैल्यूएशन ₹20 बढ़ जाएगी, ₹30 बढ़ जाएगी, ₹30 बढ़ेगी तो उससे ₹16 तो आप ही के हैं। तो कंपनी से 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ कमीशन वगैरह लेने का मुझे एक्चुअली कोई तुक नहीं दिखाई देता, लेकिन अगेन इट इज अल्टीमेटली यू, आप चला रहे हैं, आपको जो ठीक लगे आप कीजिए। और फाइनली मैं यही कहूंगा कि अभी आपका जो एक्सपेंशन प्लान है उसके बारे में डिटेल में हम सभी को बताइए, और अगर हो सके तो मैं देख सकूं कि कौन कौन अटेंड कर रहा है, ये अगर सुविधा हो तो देखें कि कितने शेयर होल्डर हैं, क्या है, उनको भी बात करने का मौका मिले तो इंटरेक्ट कर सकें। एंड विश यू बेस्ट ऑफ लक, एंड प्लीज गो अहेड, आपको जो कहना है आप कहिए। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Mr. Vikram. First of all, few things you got it wrong. Number one is on the capacity expansion. I think what you have seen is probably from where I do not know, but you mentioned that we are expanding by 10 times. But this 10 times might not be necessarily for the existing product. It could be for the new products as well. Number two, you have mentioned about ESOP 2% every year, which is wrong, which if you see it, it is 2% overall over a period of 5 years. Am I right?
Yeah.
So that is where it is. Now, all your other suggestion, whether to do a buyback or give a dividend, is, I think, a matter of each company's objective and what they do. Because we do not want to do it what is more tax efficient all the time, because the taxing can keep on changing. But we've created our own philosophy for rewarding shareholders in a certain manner. Now, for your other specific questions, definitely we are interested, and we have always tried to create a wealth for our shareholders, which we will continue to do it. And probably this is just the first 1 or 2 years, and people will see, hopefully, if we are successful in next couple of years, that how we do based on our own process of thinking as well as implementing. Now, specific, I would ask Mr. Venkat to reply to you on some of the specific areas as far as revealing the what products which we are going to make. I think it's a bit too premature, but as and when we get our EC clearance, when we start putting our capex, we will be making those information public domain. But one thing which I can tell you, that we are kind of approaching our product line based on certain thought process. It's not that we are going blindly into terms of what should be produced. We have our own criteria of choosing product, which could be based on the strength of the chemistry, strength of the asset base we have, or strength of other synergies that we have. So this is the only thing which I can share, that whatever we choose, there is a thought process behind that. So Venkat, if you would like to take it up now.
Mr. Chandraramani, I have also asked a few other questions also. On giving the option to you, either we can send a reply by way of email to you, or if you want us to read out that question and answer, we are willing to do that also. I'm saying this only in terms of
Time,
not
yes.
in terms of time, from the time aspect, time point. Chandraramani? Vikram Chandraramani?
Yeah. Acha, see, the thing is about this resolution, which you said, you clearly mentioned in the resolution that in one financial year between 1 and 2%. So what is the confusion? You're saying 1% over 5 years, 2% over 5 years. How is that? Your resolution clearly states that within a single financial year, at least 1% up to 2%.
No. See, the choice is given. What is being done is that the resolution is being passed, but it doesn't mean that we are going to do it in 1 year, everything. It is not possible. If you are going to do as 2% every year, then the whole thing, the promoter's holding will get diluted. So that is not the intention. The intention is to encourage the senior employees of the company to be more dedicated, to get that feeling of sense of belonging for them also, which they already have. That's number one. And number two,
see, if you do it, you're taking the provision, you're taking approval. So if you do it, how will we have any say? You'll do it in the middle of the year. You're already taking approval for between 1 and 2%. You read the resolution out, you will realize what I'm talking about.
Well, yes, we know what we mentioned in the resolution. This resolution also, it's all, we have prepared this resolution, everything in consultation with the person, with the parties who are helping us to do this ESOP. There are professional companies who are helping the companies to do the ESOP. With their permission only we are doing, and with their permission only we have drafted this resolution also.
That doesn't take away the fact that it is very expensive to the shareholders and unfair to the shareholders. And the other thing is that in terms of the expansion, if I am wrong, then I would request कि Mr. Mehta जो है वो खुलासा करके बताइए कि exactly expansion की capacity कितनी होने वाली है. ये जो vague terms हैं कि इतना होगा वो होगा, वो shareholders के लिए काफी नहीं है ना. Specifically जो भी बाकी दीपक नाइट्राइट है, वो एकदम खुलासा करके बताते हैं कि इतने टन है, इतने ये है. आप figures से इतना क्यों घबराते हैं? आप बताइए ना कि आपकी capacity कितनी होने वाली. What is so secret about that?
Vikram, I only answered that overall we have applied for the EC. We are working on our R&D where we will, so as and when it is clear to
Us also.
Us also, that time we will share. But it's a bit premature to share it now. We can only tell you what our plans are.
So Chandramani, we have applied for EC clearance, and once we get the EC clearance, we do not know for how much they are going to clear it. So we have applied for it, and then we have to give, there are several products in that, and they have to, what products they are going to clear, and for what capacity they will clear for each product. Once we have it in our hand, then we will be able to very gladly share all this information with the shareholders.
And it will be, of course, a
And of
public
course it will
domain
be-
information
yeah.
what we are going to make.
We will have to put it out on the site, and obviously it will come. Everybody will know what we are going to do. But at this time, it is very premature. Even we are not very sure for how much they are going to clear it.
And even if we tell you something and we might not pursue, you will next year, you will ask me question that this is what you had told me.
बट कमिंग बैक टू द ESOP, मुझे लगता है कि इसके बारे में आपको रीथिंक करना चाहिए. फिर आप खुद से देखेंगे. वैसे तो क्या है कि
Okay, all right.
Yes, we thought. So we have debated a lot against. It is also to protect the new talent as well. And I think for the shareholders, I think important is the wealth creation. Is if anyone is impacted, it is a promoter who will be impacted with the dilution.
लेकिन आप न्यू टैलेंट कह रहे हैं, मतलब जो डायरेक्टर हैं आपके बोर्ड पे, उनमें से किसी को भी ESOP नहीं मिलने वाला है, सिर्फ एम्प्लॉइज को मिलेगा, ऐसा कह रहे हैं आप?
Yes, unless and until the directors are also professional who are working in a professional capacity, they will get it.
तो अभी इस वक्त कौन से डायरेक्टर हैं जो इसके लिए एलिजिबल होंगे आपके बोर्ड पे जो है?
All these are being formed. It is we are already in the process of discussion with the competent authority who can be eligible, who will not be eligible. But somebody who is day-to-day part of it, who are contributing, those only people would be eligible. In short, if I can tell you that.
जैसे मैंने कहा कि यू आर बेसिकली कंट्रोलिंग शेयर होल्डर, तो आप जो चाहे कर सकते हैं. अगर आप वेग होना चाहते हैं तो अगेन आपकी मर्जी है, कोई बात नहीं.
I don't think we are trying to become we are trying to become as transparent and tell you what it is. So now if you say that this is vague, I have very difficult to tell you whatever in reality what we can share and what is that, only those things we are sharing.
मैं कह रहा हूँ आपके बोर्ड पे जो डायरेक्टर है उनको मैं अपनी उंगलियों पे गिन सकता हूँ. उनमें से मैं सिर्फ जानना चाहता हूँ इस रेजोल्यूशन के बाद कौन एलिजिबल होगा, कौन.
At the moment, only two people can be responsible, would be Mr. Venkat or Mr. Chabra.
अच्छा, इन दोनों को ऑप्शन मिल सकते हैं, ESOP मिल सकते हैं?
Yes,
ऐसा कह
इन
रहे हैं?
दोनों को मिल सकते हैं.
जी, बस वही मैं समझना चाह रहा था.
हाँ, yeah,
कि इन
okay.
दोनों को मिल सकते हैं.
Yes.
ठीक है, आपको मेरे बाकी सवालों के जवाब यहाँ देने हैं तो बेहतर होगा कि बाकी लोग भी सुन पाए. GSV जी, अगर
Okay.
आप
No problem. I can do that. Okay. So the next question that you have asked is that about the investment in stock market. Is there any strategy to this, or are you just investing to make some money? Rajendra Chabra, would you like to answer that question?
Sir, if you look at the holdings, whatever shares we have invested in, they are all from the chemical industry. So, based on the knowledge of the industry and based on the fact that we had some amount of surplus cash available in the company, these amounts were invested, and these amounts were invested at a time when the valuations of the company were very low because of the COVID situation. And actually, if you look at the balance sheet properly, the appreciations have been tremendous, which we have still not realized. We will realize it in the coming days. So all our investments, all our shareholdings are in the chemical industry only.
Okay. So the next question is, please elaborate on the outlook for raw materials which you use. Are there any price supply concerns? Are you able to raise prices for your products when raw material costs move up? I understand piperazine and EDC feedstock are major raw materials. Which are the other major raw materials? Reliance is expected to build a large EDC feedstock facility. Will this make it easier for you? Ethylenamines worldwide is going through challenges, and it is all subject to price fluctuations. Our company has secured the supplies for this year. Finished products pricing, again, you asked whether we can change the prices. Again, finished products pricing is all driven by market conditions. So according to that only, we'll be able to fix the price for the finished products. Next question is, you have mentioned that a new pilot plant will be built in place of the existing plant. Should we expect any downtime and reduction in production in the interim period? What is the new pilot plant expected to be? When is the new pilot plant expected to be up? When do you expect the production plant to be up? The answer is something like this. First of all, you have said that the new pilot plant will be built in the place of the existing plant, not the existing commercial plant, in the place of the existing pilot plant. The existing pilot plant is not sufficient to take care of many of our scale-up activities.
In the new areas.
Yeah, in the new areas. When we are developing something in the R&D, then afterwards it needs to be scaled up to the pilot plant level. Then it has to go to the commercial level. Now for that we need the up-to-date pilot plant, so which we have realized the need for it, and we are putting up a new pilot plant in the place of the existing pilot plant. So that's one thing. And when will it be ready? It should be ready in under about 7-8 months. It should be ready. By the beginning of next year, it should be ready. That's there. And then the next is that when do you expect the production plant to be up? The production plant is not affected by this pilot plant activity. Both are separate. You have next question. You already have 40,248 square meter of land, as I understand, going to, by the mention on the DACL website before the change in management. Since then, you have bought an additional plot of land in an auction earlier this year. I understand from the site that this plot is about 54,000 square meters or about 12 acres in size. You have said in your latest annual report that you are going to replace the existing plant with a new one. How do you plan to use the new plot of land then? There is a confusion here. We are not replacing the existing plant with a new one. The existing plant in Vadodara will continue as it is, and the new plot of land what we have purchased is, like we said, that we are in the process of developing new products and the diversification, etc. Diversification in the new chemical products only what we are developing. So for that we need additional land, and that's the reason we have purchased this land. And the next question, with Balaji Amines scaling up considerably, your company is no longer the only source of ethylene amines in India. Do you foresee any impact on profit margins? Yes, there will be some impact, but it is all manageable, within manageable limits. Because we also share a bond with our customers for long, not now. We have been having these customers for a very long period, and we are at par on rates as far as this is concerned. And quality wise, we are considered to be the best quality even today. So this is the next question. When do you expect the new capacities to be in place and production to start? I understand you are awaiting EC clearance. Please elaborate on this. Yes, you are right. Our EC application is currently under process with the authorities. Once the EC is obtained, then the process of setting up new facilities will begin. So these are your questions, Vikram Chandaramani, and these are the answers. Thank you very much, sir, for your questions.
I would now ask Mr. Rajat Setia, who has also sent some question. And I would like all the members who have questions to be as short as possible.
Yes,
and we will try to answer as much as, maybe some of them would have been answered in this questions of Mr. Chandiramani too as well. So Mr. Rajat, please go ahead.
No, is there any questions?
Yeah.
Hi,
So,
am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. We would like to see your face also. Can you please start your video?
The internet bandwidth issue on my side. Is it okay if I don't switch on the audio?
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Sir, as you know, I have already sent my questions, so I would not like to go into detail and again read them out. You can just start answering them. Just one request that, it will be helpful if you can be as elaborate on the answering part as is possible from your side. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If there is any follow-up, I would like to take it up here right away once you answer the question.
Yeah, sure. So your first question is, what is the secret behind such high gross margins of 75%? Are these margins sustainable? So obviously, we have been continuously working on refining our processes, and making wherever the debottlenecking has to be done or whatever it has been, all those things have been done. Maybe small things, but it adds to the efficiency of the production. And we have achieved that expertise in achieving high quality products. Variations may be expected owing to fluctuations in raw materials and utilities cost. Now everything is going up. Utility cost has also gone up terribly. And other essential external factors are also there, which we should also consider, like rate of exchange, transport costs, shipping costs, etc. Demand, supply, all these things are there. So if a question whether these margins are sustainable, it's very, very difficult to answer at this point of time, but surely our effort will always be to maximize the profits for the company. Number two, who are our competitors? In the annual report, you mentioned that some of our competitors have forward and backward integration. Yes. Yeah.
So our competitors are a multinational, as ethylenamine technology today is controlled by few companies who are numbered. And yes, they're backward integrated, and definitely they would have a certain advantage. But depending on their focus and other criteria, that always will be the threat of international supplier. Whereas within this, we have a different niche which we have created for ourselves. So at least we are limiting our competition to few.
Sir, what would be our market share? What would be the competitors' market share?
In the principal product which we have, our market share is around more than 50%. And going forward, because of other local producer, maybe we feel even if it does drop, it will drop little bit to about 35 or 40%. We do not see much impact.
Okay, and by what rate our principal products market opportunity is growing?
It grows in a different area, so it is growing. I would say that typically this product grow based on a GDP growth. So if our GDP is 5%, it will go by 5%. If it is 7%, it will grow by that.
So, and sir, sorry, one question, one follow-up on the first answer that you took up. So, the new products that we will be entering or the capacity expansion that we will be doing, do we expect those products to also have similar margin profile like the existing ones?
No, I don't think so.
So would that be like?
Would be there. Our endeavor will always be that, but whether it will be or not, I don't think so.
So would it be lower or higher?
Sorry? I think it would be in line with the various other chemical industry which are there today.
Sure, sir. You can take up the other question.
Yeah, thank you. So how many products do we have today? And what is the revenue mix? Currently, we have 6 products. Revenue mix keeps changing, but the major product out of this is piperazine, which is the major one. And that remains more or less steady. But others are all coming by products which for which the revenue mix between them keep changing also. Revenue mix, next question, revenue mix in terms of end industry catered to such as pharma, agrichem, water treatment, etc. We cater to pharma. Answer is, we cater to pharma, agrichem, water treatment,
Paint, polymer,
all these things we cater. But we believe at this point of time, we wouldn't want to divulge the market segment or the revenue mix in terms of what segment, how much we are giving and all these things, because we do not want our competitors to know that. We would like to hold it in the larger interest of the company. Next is, what rate of growth do we expect from your business in the coming 2-3 years, and what will be the drivers of that growth? As said, drivers of growth would be the new product development. And once the new product development comes, then we'll see again, we'll have to see how much will be how much EC is going to give us the capacity to produce, etc. And once we do that, then according to that, the rate of growth also we will be able to determine. So these are your questions, Rajat Setia. Thank you very much for all your questions and showing so much of interest in the company.
But our objective is to double the turnover in next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Minimum. Okay. Mr. Vaibhav, you can proceed with your question.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Thanks for providing the opportunity. And I have also sent my list of questions, but I think some of them have already been answered. So I will just ask few additional questions and few of them which have not been answered. And all of
Is
the
it
questions
possible
are
for you
actually
to
from.
Is it possible to start your video?
Oh, yeah, just let me try. Is it working now? I started my video. I'm not sure whether it's. I think it's starting. Anyway, I think I think it will start because it's processing somehow, and then rest of time I will just start with my questions. So all the questions are from a longer term perspective, nothing to do with next 1 year or 6 months or so. So we have changed the significant changes in the management. Just wanted to understand the long term vision of the company and new initiatives which company plans to take, not for next 2 to 3 years, but 5 years, 10 years down the line. Where do you think that this company will go? What kind of chemicals we are going to target? In that sense, if you can provide the broader strategy and long term vision, that would be really helpful. Secondly, I'm sure because Alkaline Amine was our previous co-promoter, so there will be some restrictions from them in terms of non-compete products. If you can just give a brief about that which are the products where we cannot enter and the duration of the restriction. I think on new products, you have already provided overview on the brief. If apart from competitive reasons you don't want to provide more details, it is fine. But if you can provide a brief outline, so what kind of new products are you targeting, in what chemistry it is, and what industry it will be going to? And the total amount of capex that you will be doing in next 2 to 3 years. And one of the last question is that I know Piperazine and Anhydrous is our largest product. So is there any alternate to the healthcare industry? So because the prices of these products is highly fluctuating. So is the healthcare industry has an option to use other product apart from instead of this product? Should our pricing increase a lot? Should the market prices go up a lot? So can the ciprofloxacin manufacturing shift to any alternate API for this? And the major sources of procurement of PIP 68%, which is I think our major raw material, and what is being sourced from Dow Chemicals, and what are the constraints on this source? Because I understand there are some significant constraints on sourcing the raw material because of limited global capacity from Dow and other MNCs. So if you can just provide a highlight on what are the restrictions and how do you plan to overcome these restrictions?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it from my side. Great if you can answer these point by point.
Okay. First of all, non-compete does not apply to us. It's reverse. It applies to Alpella. If that answers your question. The second one, I think some of them we have covered.
Yeah. You can tell that. Come on.
Now your question on alternative for piperazine. As far as I know from the chemistry perspective, in the existing application, they don't have any option. They would have to use. Unless and until those product gets some other competition on that category of a product. But knowing that ciprofloxacin is a very broad spectrum antibiotic, it's like paracetamol. It will survive. Paracetamol is survived for 50, 100 years. So I don't see that ciprofloxacin will suddenly go out of it. But you never know. So best of our knowledge, I do not think it will impact. Now your other question was on raw material. We have secured raw material sources of supplies. I would not like to name because of the strategic certain relationships, but we are by and large secured in our raw material supplies with relationship with the suppliers spanning over last 2 or 3 decades since we started. So we are somewhat fairly secured, but knowing this, that where we are putting new effort in a new product development, where we are not dependent on a specific category of a product line. So that's the objective. Now, as a vision, what you asked, what our vision is going forward, we want to be a company where we bring in a differentiating, innovative technologies and the product which can be based on that, which is probably greener, which is more efficient in process. So it is a long drawn process to identify, validate, analyze. So as we go ahead, we will share more on a specific product, but a fundamental approach would be that unless and until there is a differentiating way of making this product, we would not, by and large, enter those. I hope this answers your questions. The next I would ask Mr. Amit Bagaria.
To keep the questions short.
And Mr. Bagaria, please, you can keep your questions limited and relevant, which is not repetitive, if it is possible.
Amit bhai, all my previous speakers have already asked all the intelligent and the smart questions, so I don't have another additional questions to ask. Thank you so much for clarifying all the questions.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Dinesh Kotecha.
Mr. Dinesh Kotecha.
Yes. Can you see me?
No, unfortunately not as yet.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you well.
One second. I am starting my video also. It is not starting. Good afternoon, sir. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Sir, first of all, I would like to say one small thing. Diamonds means duty to work, 3D policy, duty to work, discipline to quality, devotion to customer.
Thank you.
Now, I am very happy to see all the directors in the KMP is present at this meeting, Amit Bhai. Very good to see all of you, all the KMPs also. Sir, regarding resolution number 10 and 11, that is the ESOPs given to the employees of the subsidiaries also. I support this resolution, sir, because the subsidiary which is formed, DSCL Finechem Limited, that is also part of our Diamines only. And it has been formed with a specific purpose. The people working there, the people working in Diamines, they should work for a very long time. Committed it is commitment of the workers also, or the staff also. So they should be compensated by way of ESOPs. No doubt, the ESOPs, the valuation, I mean, the earlier speakers spoke something against the giving you the ESOPs, but this is hardly some percentage of our whatever 1 or 2%, that does not matter, sir, according to me. So I'm not against the thought process of the earlier speaker, but this is my thought process, sir. Sir, my only question is, why was this separate subsidiary required? Can't it be part of Diamines only as a merged entity? That is the question. Sir, again, the business landscape. I had a question on business landscape, but you have very nicely answered all the questions of the business landscape now, earlier, now, and future. Only thing is Dahej. Give me some little details about the capex, the break-even point, the ROI, the payback period, if you can, because I am very happy that new products, new pilot plant is being put up for the old pilot plant, and for the new products, some new capex is being done at Ankleshwar, Dahej. So page 54. Yes. When I see page 54, the outlook, out of 7 paragraphs, in the 4 paragraphs, whatever you have said in the first 5 paragraphs gives me tremendous confidence about your ability, about your thought process, the way that you want to take the company forward. I am very confident that it will be done under your leadership, sir. Sir, again, only one thing remains there about that. You have said that all the transfer facilities of the local authorities are under process about the Dahej. Is it completed now? Because this was on 18th of May when you reported it. Now we are in July. So is it completed or is it not completed?
No, not as yet.
Because of COVID for 2 months, everything was closed. Nothing moved for 2 months.
Yes.
Because of COVID.
So will there be a cost and time overrun for that? No. Okay, page 55. When the key financial ratios, all the ratios are down because of the COVID, except your current ratio. That means you have managed your finances well. Only the current ratio is showing an improvement from 8.44 to 9.67. Otherwise, all the ratios are down, and you have given the reasons for that. Now, sir, that reasons which you have given due to decrease in sales revenue, increase in cost of raw material price. Now, once the things become normal, what steps are you going to take to come back to normal? Because sir, what in the first page of the cover back page, we had a turnover once upon a time of 91 crores. The turnover is now down by 1/3 to 65 crores. But at the same time, the profit which was profit after tax, which was 14 crores, has gone up to 21 crores. Is up by 50%. Appreciate it, sir. Your cost cutting measures, your way to take out extract the operating profit maximum and the net profit also maximum. I appreciate that fact very much, sir. Sir, page 57. We are net forex user. Can we expect to be a net forex earner? And if yes, by what time? Maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line. Can you give us some idea about it? So you have said in the future plan of action that we are under development of paper in derivatives. Now for these derivatives, I have got one question, sir. How many new derivatives of this derivatives are being worked on now? How many? I'm not asking other question, but how many of these derivatives are we working upon? Sir, are we able to make any product or products which gives us the pricing power or resilience to external threat or competitive threat? Do we have any USP product which we are number one? I would like to know that, sir. Sir, coming to page 97, there are some cases put up by the auditor in the annexure report which are under dispute. I would like to know what is the position as of those cases as on today. If you can give us some idea about any cases being resolved from this category or any new cases being added as on today, if you can give, I will be very happy. So page 125. In the investments, you have added investments in GSCL Limited and Make Money Organics Limited. Now, I would like to know thought process going for making some investments in from the funds of the company, sir. What is the thought process behind that? Why do we need to have so many investments, first of all? If yes, how does it benefit us? Sir, again, coming to page 105, there is one small question there, that in the cash flow, when I see the cash flow, I find that we have spent nearly 14.32 crores on purchase of property, plant and equipment, intangible assets, and capital work in progress and capital advances in the last 2 years. 14.32 crores have been spent. Actually, cash has gone out in the capex. Now, this additional capex which we have made, have we started getting the benefit of it by way of sales, additional sales from this capex? And what is the capex program for the current year, including your Dahej capex, sir? Sir, again, one more thing I would like to say, sir. Any crucial commitments which you have made during the year, which have been deferred, or which you were forced to defer due to COVID or other factors, please give a list of it. Sir, lastly, with best wishes, I would like to say one more thing, sir. Amit bhai, I would like to say one more thing. True progress is nothing but a result of true understanding, true efforts, true commitment in every endeavor, big or small. And I for one know that Amit Mehta and company are doing all this possible for the benefit of the shareholders, including the minority shareholders. Thank you very much for my patient hearing and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kotecha. I'll answer some of the ones which I remember. Number one, we have not defaulted during the COVID time in any scenario. The other question which you had was that we spent on capex about 14 crores. For the benefit of the shareholders, you know, this plant is more than about 30 years old, and it required a various replacement and various other things. I don't know how many of y'all have seen the plant, which was 2 years back, and today what it is. They will see a various visual difference in the plant. So we are doing what is required for your company to be sustainable on a longer period, not only on the short term, and which probably also includes land. So that's how you've seen that. So that answers your question. Other one was, sorry, I've lost. No new cases have come up. Than what it is, but these are all the old cases one by one which are being addressed.
On the incomes?
Sorry? Okay, so those are the cases from 2010 to 2018. After that, there are no more.
And many of them are also waiting for they've been decided in our favor. It has been decided in our favor, but we are waiting for the orders to be passed.
Yeah.
Order giving effect has to be taken.
Investment, other investment, which you said, why are we doing that? As you know, we have been in chemical industry, and where we see that there is a value proposition, we have explored the way where we thought that it was undervalued, and we thought it would be for us to see that if we can maximize the shareholder value in a little different manner as well, but at the same time being safe, but not being, I would say, speculative. So we are not here to speculate, but where we see the value, and that is the primary reason, not any other reason. If that answers your question, I suppose, was there anything else which I missed out?
I'm on, sir.
Yes.
Not net forex. We are the net forex user. When will we become next forex?
Yeah. Sorry. So now that depends on, we are working on a various product now, depending on what we succeed and what we try to do. Our objective is not only to on forex as well. If by default, if we do it, surely we would be more than happy to do it. But I've told you what is our thought process of choosing a product. So within that, if it falls under that, maybe it would be possible, but I can't say that it will happen in 1 year, 2 years. If it happens, it can happen fast, or it can take a couple of more years as well. So it's purely dependent on a different product that we choose, because we personally believe there are more opportunities which are emerging in India than even an export.
Also, there are some import substitution.
So we would rather focus on where we think we can become a sustainable supplier over a period of time. Can I now ask Mr. Shlok Dave?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. Sir, first of all, Vikramji, if you are still listening to the AGM, well done, sir. These are important issues to be raised, and it's good to see that someone other than me is raising these issues. Sir, with all due respect, Amitji, you should read the resolution. The resolution is extremely unclear. It says 1 to 2% per year in any 1 year. That is vague and it is unclear. And whoever has suggested you that language, you should definitely reconsider using their services. It is not clear. It should be very clearly mentioned. The total ESOPs will not exceed 2% of the outstanding equity. And it doesn't matter the year. When you introduce the word year, it becomes per year. And the way it has been written, it is extremely vague. Second, sir, I'm surprised nobody has asked this question. Throughout the year, your margins have completely crashed. Your EBITDA margins have been declining for the last 5 quarters now. I understand it's extremely volatile environment, and we are in a kind of a commodity business, so margins go up and down. But my only complaint to you is that there was not even a single press release or single communication effort from the company explaining why our margins, which were 50% plus in 1 quarter, and in 4th quarter, we ended up at around 20%. There is no explanation for that because the rest of the chemical industry has been improving their margins over the last 4 quarters. I expect you keep on saying that you want to be very transparent, and I see that you have shares in Deepak Nitrite. Please attend their conference calls. See how they communicate. Their products are even more commoditized. Their spreads have crashed overnight, and they have done a conference call next morning to explain to the shareholders what was happening, whether it was a regional issue, company-specific issue, or some other issue. So, because we plan on becoming very transparent, I would strongly suggest that if there is so much volatility in our margins, we should come out with at least one press release. I understand we are a small company; we cannot do conference calls. Communicating with handful of shareholders once a year, it's not good enough, sir. So please, at least one paragraph you can write what has happened. In the annual report, I was awaiting the annual report with a bated breath that I would get some explanation of what happened during the year. The annual report is extremely vague. In most of the places, you have written that we did not encounter any demand challenges. You have said demand supply is there. Then you have said that the entire industry is going through challenges. If the demand is good, then how can there be challenges? What has happened? I mean, there is no clarification whatsoever on the margin side. Then Vikram Bhai asked you very, very clearly that you have said a pilot plant is coming, and now you have one of the answers you have mentioned that the production plant is different and the pilot plant is different. So then, what is the pilot plant working on? What is the production plant working on? At least give us some sense. You're working in amines, sir. I have a degree in organic chemistry. Amines may you can make in organic chemistry, like any one of the molecules can be converted into any other molecule. So at least if 3-4 people have asked you, okay, what is the chemistry we are working on? Are we going to continue in amines? Are we going to go in some other direction? Are we going, let's say, will we be aliphatic? Will we be aromatic? Will we go in some different direction? Again, I don't think I got the answer to that. So in which direction are we going? The pilot plant, you said the pilot plant and production plant are different. So if the production plant is different, what is being made there? And if the pilot plant is different, what are you making there? At least some clarifications you should give. Then the timelines are also very, very big to me. So pilot plant, you mentioned that it will take 7 to 8 months. That's a very long time for a pilot plant to come in. I mean, I've seen pilot plants being from scratch being developed for within 2 to 3 months. So why 7 to 8 months is being taken for a pilot plant? And then you said that the production plant is different. So what are the timelines related to those? When is the production plant going to come in? So Dahej mein you have bought the land and you are awaiting EC clearance. So assume kijiye hypothetically you get the EC clearance tomorrow. So how soon can the construction start at the site? What kind of equipment will you be ordering? What are the lead times of that equipment? Because there is a lot of, if I look at just normal glass line reactors, every supplier is telling that there are 2 major players in India. Both of them are saying that their order books are full. So what is your strategy? How will you source it? How long will it take you to source the material, the equipment? When will the construction start at the earliest? Again, hypothetically, assuming that if you get the EC clearance tomorrow, when will you start construction and how long will it take? Will it take 18 months? Will it take 24 months? Will it take 36 months? Then, sir, I would strongly urge you that please, if we continue with this current form of communication, at least in the annual reports, go in some detail. Especially cover the quarters. I mean, there is, again, the quarterly volatility. What is the economics of the business? I do not understand. Is it the Q1 number which is the normalized number, or was it the Q4 number which is normalized? What is the normalized version? Then, sir, you said, some of the questions you have kind of answered, but again, I would again urge what everyone else urged, please go into some detail. Are we looking at some radically new product lines? Are we looking at, you said that it will be related. So what exactly, are we increasing the same capacities? Final question, sir, what is the capacity utilization of the current capacity? And the current capacity, what is the maximum revenue we can realize? Based on, if you can take a number for realization, how much can we realize? Will we be doing this 14 crores a quarter? Will we be closer to 20 crores a quarter? Can the current capacity do 30 crores a quarter? What are the underlying assumptions for such revenue numbers? So these will be my questions, sir. Again, sir, I would urge you, I am a shareholder in a number of companies. In many of the companies, I own up to 1.5% of the equity. And one of the things that I look forward to is that I understand businesses have their cycles and there is a lot of volatility. And this is a particularly volatile thing. But at least the management should take an effort to communicate why, what is happening, why is it happening. That would be very helpful, sir, and it will be a good practice for you to start following that. That would be all from my side, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Shlof, thank you for your insight. We are a constant learning organization, so we will take anything which is relevant and which we can improve ourselves, we will always do it. That's number one. Number two, you have asked about pilot plants and product lines. Typically, everybody is asked, and I have told you what we can share at the moment. And I have shared even the principal approach and a philosophy. I'm glad you're an organic chemist, you understand about the glass line and various other things. So I suppose you also understand the chemistry as well. Now, to a different question, that what kind of a product line we will go in. We will, as we are known, we will definitely be pursuing not an API or an AI, which is a final agrochemical or a final active pharmaceutical. What we will play is always in between the fine and the specialty chemicals as an intermediate or as a performance chemical. If that gives you a little more clarity on that. The reason is that even we at the moment, as I say, we are working on a different things. As I said it earlier, that we only want to pursue which is differentiating. I do not want to do something which is everybody is doing it by and large. So that takes, it is a various aspect of it, from the technology to engineering to chemistry to various things. So that's how it takes time. So that is what we've been doing in last 2 years, and we will crystallize as we go ahead. And the product wise, you will get to know more later on. Now, why private plant is taking more time or why other things takes more time probably is a question which I would not like to debate, because in pilot plant, what am I putting? I'm not putting just the glass line vessel. I'm putting some different aspect of the pilot plant. So that's how it can take more time or less time. But we have transparently shared with you that how much time will it take. Now coming back to the hedge, first of all, we are acquiring the lands. We have not applied for the EC for the hedge. Just now, whatever EC which is done is for the EC for the Baroda unit. So whatever we will do it at Baroda unit, but there also there are limitation and other things. So depending on how it maps out, we will then apply for an EC at the hedge and take it forward. Was there any other thing which I missed out? Please mention.
Yes, sir. The margin fluctuation throughout the year, the
Margin fluctuation is a function of market demand supply situation. Like anything else, as you gave an example of Deepak, you gave an example of Deepak. Deepak's price of IPA went up substantially in COVID time. Right. So it to this. So in our case also, everything is related to demand supply. So today in a certain quarter, if some of the international supplier for their own reason dump the price, we will have to react to it. So these are the primary reason where the margins have been impacted is mainly due to the demand supply, due to the exchange rate, the raw material going up, the freight impact. I'm sure you are, if you are following all this, there has been a tremendous increase in the freight rates. And those things, and since we are buying in India, those have been impacting our margin too.
Sir, would you say that the volatility that we've seen in the margin is more related to our prices dropping, or would it be more because of raw material prices increasing? What was the main?
So it's both. Both. I said that both.
Okay. Okay.
It's both.
Okay.
But if you see our efficiencies year on year increasing, operational efficiency is increasing. I suppose I think most of the question answer is over. We go to the next. In accordance with the section 108 of the Companies Act 2013 and Rule 20 of the Companies, Management and Administration Rules 2014 and Regulation 44 of the Securities Exchange Board India, Regulation 2015, read with MCA circulars, the company had provided facility for remote e-voting. I would like to invite queries, if any, on the accounts which the members would like us to answer. So that is done. Sorry.
Item number.
For remote e-voting to the members through Lincoln Time India Private Limited in respect of all the items to be transacted at this AGM. Remote e-voting period commenced on Friday, the 16th of July 2021 at 9 a.m. and ended on Monday, the 19th of July 2021 at 5 p.m. Mr. Sandeep Seth and Associates, firm of practicing company secretaries, were appointed and scrutinizer for the purpose of scrutinizing the remote e-voting process in fair and transparent manner. In remote e-voting, the shareholders have voting rights in the proportion to their shares in the paid-up capital, and therefore it is required that the poll to be taken on all the resolution of ordinary and special business as set out in item number 1 and 12 of the 45th annual general meeting. Members who have already voted through e-voting process shall not be debarred from participation in the meeting, but he or she shall not be entitled to vote again in the meeting, and the vote cast by him or her through e-voting shall be treated as final. Messrs. Sandeep Seth and Associates firm of practicing company secretaries appointed a scrutinizer to conduct the venue e-voting in smooth and transparent manner and report on result of the e-voting. The results of the venue e-voting and remote e-voting will be declared within the statutory timeline. The results of remote e-voting and a venue e-voting will be combined for each resolution, and the same will be filed with the stock exchanges and will be placed on the website of the company and a link in Time India Private Limited. The item of the business to be taken up today are to receive, consider and adopt audited financial statement of a company for financial year ended on March 31st, 2021, together with the reports of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon, including the audited consolidated financial statements of the company for the year ended March 31, 2021. Next item is related to my appointment. Being interested in such agenda, I request G.S. Venkatachalam, Executive Director, to take the chair of the particular item.
Item number 2, to appoint a director in place of Mr. Amit Mehta, DIN 0007390-907, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment.
Item number 3, to declare final dividend of ₹5 per ordinary share of ₹10 each for the financial year 2020-2021. Item number 4, ratification of remuneration cost to the auditor. Item number 5, reappointment of Mr. G.S. Venkatachalam as Executive Director. Appointment of Mr. Rajendra Chabra as a non-executive director in the category of professional director, and to approve payment of fees and compensation. To approve remuneration already paid to Mr. Rajendra Chabra as a non-executive director in the category of professional exceeding 50% of the total remuneration compensation fees payable to all the non-executive director of the company for the financial year 2020-2021. To approve payment of remuneration to Mr. Rajendra Chabra as a non-executive director in the category of professional director exceeding 50% of the total remuneration compensation fees payable to all other non-executive director of the company for the financial year 2021-22. Item number 9, commission to non-executive directors. To approve DSCL Employee Stock Option Plan 2021. To extend approval of DSCL Employee Stock Option Plan 2021 to employees of the holding company and its subsidiary companies. Grant option to issue securities equal to exceeding 1% but not exceeding 2% of the issued capital of the company during any one financial year to be identified, employee under DSCL Employee Stock Option Plan 2021 with the upper cap of 2%. Right? The electronic voting option will remain open for next 15 minutes. Members who have not exercised their vote may click the voting button, cast your vote, which is appearing on the right-hand side of your VC meeting screen, and vote. The results will be declared within prescribed statutory time.
I propose vote of thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Venkat. Thank you all for attending this meeting.
The meeting now stands terminated. Thank you so much, everyone. Continue to be safe